I grew up in Orlando, Florida, so I've driven this country road to Daytona Beach probably 100 times. It's a scenic drive, with tall pine trees and stretches of marshland, woods and lakes, the kind of peaceful landscape that makes you forget about the world. I was just driving back from hanging out with my girlfriends at the beach when I realized I had less than a quarter tank of gas. I knew I had to find a station before I ended up stranded. Spotting an old gas station up ahead, I decided to pull in, even though the place looked almost deserted. There was only one other car in the lot, and I didn't see anyone around. I figured it would be a quick top-off, but it turned out to be one of the sketchiest experiences of my life. I pulled up to the pump and started filling up. The air was heavy and humid, thick with the buzz of insects. For a moment, I considered driving on until I found a more populated station, but I decided to just get it over with. My car's gas tank is on the passenger side, so I had to walk around my car to pump the gas. I got out, swiped my card, and started pumping. Just as I was finishing up, another car pulled in next to mine. It was a sleek, dark vehicle with windows tinted so heavily that I couldn't see a thing inside. The engine rumbled softly, but no one got out. The car just sat there, idling with loud music thumping from inside, as if it was waiting for something. A minute ticked by, then another. I kept glancing over, trying not to make it obvious that I was staring, but no one got out. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife, and I started to feel like I was being watched. The gas pump clicked off, signaling that my tank was full, and I put the nozzle back, trying to act casual, but the unease was growing in the pit of my stomach. Just as I started walking around to the driver's side, I heard a soft click. The passenger door of the black car cracked open slightly, just enough to show it was unlocked, but not enough to see inside. My heart pounded in my chest. Without thinking, I made a snap decision to climb into my car through the passenger door instead. As soon as I was inside, I locked the doors and scrambled over the console to the driver's seat. My hands were shaking as I fumbled with the keys, desperate to start the engine. Just as I turned the ignition, I heard the other car's door slam shut. In a split second, I saw the handle of my car door jolt. My breath caught in my throat as I let out an involuntary scream. There was a man in a ski mask trying to open my door. His movements were frantic, as if he were trying to get in before I could drive off. My heart raced as he quickly gave up, jumping back into the passenger seat of the black car. Tires screeched, and the car sped off, disappearing down the road in seconds. I sat there, trembling, trying to make sense of what had just happened. That's when I realized there were probably two guys in that car. The thought of almost being kidnapped made me reach for a bag to throw up. As the car drove off, I noticed there were no tags on the back of that vehicle. Nothing to identify it, just a faceless, dark car that seemed to come out of nowhere and vanish just as quickly. As I drove away, my mind raced with what-ifs. What if I hadn't gotten in the car when I did? What if I had walked around to the driver's side? What if they had been waiting for me? The fear lingered, making the drive home feel like a narrow escape from something I couldn't quite name but knew was dangerous. To this day, I always make sure my gas tank is full, and I avoid deserted gas stations at all costs. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't trusted my gut that day, but I'm grateful I didn't have to find out.